How to explain when things don't go as you guess soon or better? How will you explain when others able to give them their final consumption? For example, why is Apple so integrated year after year? They're more integrated than over competition, and yet the Java computer company does not like everyone else. It has the same access to the same talent, an agency that consults their media. Why in the range aim to have something different? Why in the market in the king? Let us surprise even the only man to suffer and be Burma in mechanical working is the only great offer today. Why him? And why is it that the right brother able to figure out control power man flight when there certainly other team would have qualified the funded and they did it? Let's see. Iron Man bright for other pigeon to it. There's something else at play there. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery, and this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world and even profoundly changed the way in which I operated. As it turns out, as it turns out, all the great and inspiring leader organization in the world of whatever marketing that came out of my brother, they all think I can communicate with exact same way and the complete opposite to everyone else, or I did to codify. And the probably the world's simplest ideas. I call it golden circle. Why, how, what? This look-like idea explain why the organizer in some reader able to inspire or other run that a term very quickly every single person, every organization planning know what they do 100%. Some know how they do it. Have the code different in value combination, no bright process USB, that very few people organization know why they do it. And by why do I mean to make the perfect? The result, the always the result by why I mean not a purpose, but the core was a belief. Why did your organization to exist? Why do it get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? What does it do until we act? And they are right on the killer thing, this thing, but the inspire leader, inspired organization, regardless of the size, regardless to industry, or think actually communicate from the inside out. I'll give you an example. I still ever eat them instead of the it. If Apple, who like everyone else, a marketing man myself like this, we make great computer. The beautiful design, simple to use and user friendly. One by one, me, and that's how most of the communicators are more marketing and darkness feel that and most communicating personally. We say what we do, we say how we different and person some behavior person something like that. Here's our new law firm. We had the best lawyer, big client, in own way perfect client. Here are five get grace, get mileage, get help. You let us see buy a car. Other uninspired, here the Apple actually communicate. Everything we do, we believe. Intelligent started work, we believe. And thinking differently. The way we challenge start the glow in making out the product beautiful design, simple to you and you friendly. But they happen to a computer, one by one. Totally different right. You are by computer run or later you go observe in of the of information. Most to other people don't buy what you do. People why you do it. When don't what you may buy why you do it explain why every single person in this room. The perfectly come through by the computer for Apple was also perfect come through by an TV from Apple or the front Apple or DVR from Apple. But I said before, if the computer company that are distinguished them, the charger many better, the competitors they are all equally qualified to make all the product. In fact, they try at the few years ago get quick and error frap in TV. Emerald to make flat in TV, making fracking multi freaking for you. Number report one. And then there came out the MP3 player and PDA, and they make a quality product and make a perfectly well designed product, and nobody bought. And by talking about another mentioned by Andrew Braver for Dell and the Beaver Computer Company, we did do it every day. People don't buy what they buy why you do it, and by business with anybody with every who need what you have. But the goal in the business got people who believe what you believe. Here's the best part. One number one telling you on my opinion. And they all grounded in biology, but not psychology, biology. We look at the raw set, the human brain, and top down. What you see, the human brain actually broken into three major components that correlate perfectly on the growth in circle. And you explain how millisecond near the cortex correspond with the grosor. The neocortex is responsible for all biorational analytical process and language. The middle section make about a little bit gray. Everything when the Spencer oral thesis, my trust, and lawyer, and also responsible for all human behavior, all decision making, and the personal capacity for language. In other words, we communicate from the outside in that people can understand for us to communicate information by feature and benefit and fact and figure that then drive behavior. Or we communicate from the inside out, we're talking directly to the process range that control behavior and the way that people rational are the tangible things we say and do. That's where God decision come from. And though sometimes you will give somebody all a fact in the fixes and I know what all the facts and details say that it doesn't feel like what you do that first. Doesn't feel right if the project doesn't control decision making, doesn't control language, the best we can budget. I don't know if they feel right. But sometimes you say written the heart and written the soul. I had to break it to and so on other party about controlling your behavior and what's happening here. But brain about the control decision and not language. What you don't know what you do to do. And people respond to why you do what you do, but how many body happy and get to the first by something from or more importantly be loyal and want to be a part of what and that we do. Again, the goal not to sell people who make what you have, the goal to sell people who believe what you believe. The goal not to hire people who need a job. It's hire people who believe what you believe. Hire who say that no, if you hire people that can do a job, work for your money, hire people to believe what build the blatant discussion here and no else as a better example they can try to. Most people don't know about Samuel Pepys language and back in the early 20th century, but still a prior friend by the dog coming a day what they were trying. And Samuel passed a language how what will soon to be the recipe for success. I mean, you now you ask people why their product to a company fail. People embrace importation as same free thing. Under capitalized and drawn people best marketing condition, the same free thing. But explorer, Samuel Pure Landry, got given $50,000 by the department feeder for Landry. Money was no problem. He helped her see the Harvard and work business a million. Extremely well connected with all the big minds of the day. He hired the best mind money could find, and marketing conditions fantastic. And the uptime following around everywhere, everyone were reading for language. And happy neighborhood, but send the people tonight. I feel 100 miles away and dig no higher. Our friend Barat may have none. But what they consider to be a recipe for sunset. They have no money, they pay for their dream process from a bicycle shop. Not a single person on the Wright Brother team had a college education, nothing in Guerrero or the world. And the near time for around, nowhere. The different words, over and over, were driven by the horse who had birth for the belief. They believe that they can figure out the flying machine. Yet the return the core of the world. Samuel Pure language was different. He wanted to be rich and he wanted to be famous. He wanted the pursuit of the rich, he wanted the pursuit of the richer. And learn don't do the second dog with subtitle. How to explain when things don't go as we assume or better? To explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all assumption. For example, why is Apple so innovative year after year after year? They more innovative than other competition. And that the just computer company does everyone else. They have the same assets, the same talent, the same agency, the same source, and same media. And why but they seem to have something different? Why is the Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement? He wasn't the only man suffer free right maker, and so he wasn't only great author today. Why him? And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out control power man flight when there was only other team better qualified, better funded, and they didn't achieve power and flight, but rather beat them to it? There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery, and this discovery profoundly changed my view and how I thought the world was, even probably changed the way in which I operated. As it turns out, that the pattern as it turned out all the great and inspiring leaders and generation in the world, whatever met the right brother, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way. That's the complete opposite to everyone else. Or I did codify it, and it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why? How? What? This little idea explains why some organizations or some leaders are able to inspire but are learning to find the term very quickly. Every single organization planet know what they do 100%. Some know how they do it. When you call it different value proposition, know their pricing process and USP, and very few people organization know why they do it. They do, and by why it don't mean the profit, not the result, and always the result. By why I mean what the purpose, what the cause got to believe. Why do the organization exist? Why do get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? As a result, we think we are going to communicate is from the outside or obvious, become clear things to afraid this thing. But in fire leader and by organization, the grasp of their style, the grasp of their industry, all things and I communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example you have to understand get we guess it. If Apple were like everyone else, marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computer. They beautifully designed, simple to use and use plainly. Want to buy one? No. And that's more communicating, most marketing and several some gel done and more communicate interestingly. He say what would you have different better expand the behavior versus something like that. Get a new law firm, get their best lawyer, biggest client, and get it perform by the theater course that great gas mileage and have let the seat buy our car, but uninspired. Here's how Apple actually communicate. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo, believe in thinking bit differently. The way we challenge status quo by making our beautifully designed, simple to use, and use plainly. We don't have to make great computer. Want to buy one? Totally different right and a computer from me or didn't reserve all the information. I brought it is that we don't want why but you to be done by what you do is explain why every single person in this room is perfect comfortable buying a computer from Apple, but also perfect comfortable by empty player or a phone from Apple or DVR from Apple. As I said before, Apple the computer company is not distinguished them structurally from other the competitor is equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried a few years ago. Gateway came out of flat screen TV. They aimed to qualify to make flat screen TV. They began frosting it margin for years. No, we bought one. And Dell came down with MPD Freighter and PDAs, and then make a great quality product and make a perfect, well-designed product. And no reward. In fact, talking about now, we can imagine buy an MP3 from Dell or buy MP3 the computer company, but do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The goal is not to do business. Anyone, every deal who needs what you have. The goal to do business is with people who believe what you believe. Here's the best part. None of what I'm telling you is my opinion. It's the old grounded tenets of biology, not psychology. Biology. If you look at process in the human brain, you're top down. The human brain is actually broken in three major components that correlates perfectly with the golden circle. Our newest brain, our Homo sapien brain, our neocortex, corresponds with the what level? Neocortex is the principle about rational and analytical thought and language. The middle two sections make up our limbic brain. Our limbic brain is responsible to all about feeling, like trust, loyalty. It's also responsible for all human behavior, all decision making, and it has no capacity for language. In other words, when we communicate with the outside in, just people can understand, customers communicate information like feature and benefits in facts and figure. Just doesn't drive behavior. When communicate from inside out, we talk directly to the parts of brain that control behavior, and they allow people to rationalize this with the tangible thing we say and do. That's a God decision come from. And sometimes you give somebody all of facts and figure and I know what all of facts and details say that it doesn't feel right. What you do at first, it doesn't feel right. Because the part of the brain that controls decision making doesn't control language. And the best you can master, I don't know, is that they feel right. The you say relating with the heart, a good thing of the soul, and the bracket used on other party parts controlling the behavior. Urban here into the limbic brain, the brain that controls decision making and not language. But you don't know why you do it, what you do, and people respond to why you do what you do, and however ever get people to vote for you, buy something from you, or more importantly, be loyal and want to be a part of what it that you do. And again, the goal not to just sell people to me what you have. The goal is to sell people who believe what you believe. The goal is not to hire people who need a job, and to hire people who believe what you believe. I don't want to say that. You know, this, if you hire people just because they can do a job, go for a job, but you hire people to believe what you believe, what you blood and sweat and tear. And no else where the better example than the Wright brothers. Most people don't know about Samuel Pupil Lanker, and back in the early 20th century, the pursuit of power meant a fighter might come of the day every tried. And Samuel got plenty how what you assume to be a recipe for success. Even now, if you ask people why the project, why the company failed, people give the same permutation, the same fishing. And the capitalize the wrong people, bad market conditioner, the same three things, the less exploited. Samuel Pupil Landwick given $15,000 by the court to figure out flying machine. Money was no problem. He held a seat at Harvard and worked at Siemens earlier, extremely well connected with all the big minds a day. He hired best money could find, and the market condition was fantastic. The New York Times followed his around everywhere, and everyone was listening for language. And Hurricane never heard, Samuel Pepper never. A few hundred miles away, Dayton, Ohio, over Wilbur, they had none. What they considered to be a recipe for success had no money. They paid for dreams get personally from bicycle shop. Not a single person on the Rivals team had a college education, not even girl or Wilbur, and the New York Times followed them around. Nowhere. The difference was all one was driven by a course, by personal, by a belief. They believed what they could figure out this flying machine. It's a trend across the world. Sai and Purple language different. He want to be rich and he want to be famous. He will pursue the riches. He pursue riches. And lo and behold, look happen. And we believe in the right blood dream, but to end up from with blood to Timis. The others were for paycheck. And the top day at the happy time the graduate went down. They got to take fries at the pot, and at bedtime they could come before supper. 哎，